You know the day destroys the night, night divides the day. Try to run, try to hide, break on through to the other side.
Hi, I'm Mary Marinville, and I'm here in Ventura at Mission Produce headquarters, and I'm here with Steve Barnard, and I've been so looking forward to this interview because every time I talk to you, you're so interesting and fun. And Steve, where did you grow up?
I haven't.
So I can see what I said. It's going to be fun. So
I grew up in Fillmore.
You grew up in Fillmore?
Went to Fillmore High School. Went from there to Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo. Got a degree in ag business. And still working on the growing up part.
Yeah. We all are, aren't we? So when was your aha moment when you said to yourself, I am going to be the founder of a large avocado growing company?
Well, I'm not sure I've hit that yet, to be honest. I mean, seriously.
Why do you say that?
Well, our growth rate now is much faster and larger than it's ever been. And when we look at the opportunities ahead, I'm not sure where this is going to slow down. I mean, it's a global business now. When we started Mission 30 years ago, by the way, it's ironic that we're having this conversation today.
This is your 30th anniversary? Wonderful.
Not today, this year.
Yeah.
And, you know, we started out as just a California avocado packer. There was an opportunity here. I had worked for a company called Santa Clara Produce, which was up the street here, which was primarily in the vegetable business at the time. I got out of school. My dad basically, he was a farmer, and he basically said, this place isn't big enough for both of us, go do your own thing.
What did he farm?
Citrus and avocados, mostly citrus. And so every summer in school, I tried to do something different because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I worked for Sunkist, a packing house one summer. I worked for New Holland and Farming up in the valley one summer. I worked for my dad one summer. And when I got out of school, I realized I didn't want to do any of those. And the one thing I hadn't done yet was fresh produce. And so I looked around here. I wanted to come down to this area. Obviously, I grew up here. And there was a company that was pretty aggressive and growing, so I sent out one resume to them, forced my way in for an interview. And they said, this is great, but we're not hiring. And I said, yes, you are. Your season starts in 2 weeks. That's when it was really regional business then. I mean, it was a seasonal deal and they'd move on. And I said, I'll do anything. I don't know if I'll like it here either. So, I mean, you've got to be hiring somebody to do something. So they said, fine, start next week. $120 a week gross. And I was loading trucks and putting in 120 hours a week. It was a test, I knew that, but that's all right. I think I won. I think I passed.
And I think you like tests.
Well,
You like a
sometimes,
challenge.
Yeah. So that's how it all started. And then as I worked my way through that company, you know, when I started there, I was 22.
So you learned every facet of that company?
And I was running all of their vegetable harvesting crews by the age of 24. We were in Lompoc, Santa Maria, El Centro, Oxnard, so I was moving around a lot, and I had about 400 employees under me at that point, and did that for about 7 years, 7.5, 8 years maybe. And then in the late 70s, they got into the avocado business for all the wrong reasons. They had a facility up here that was empty in the summertime, so they thought, well, let's get into the avocado business and fill that facility up in the summer when all the vegetables are up north. So they bought a machine, hired a guy out of retirement to run it, and I was helping this guy with referrals because I knew a lot of people that had been grown up here. And this guy ran that business for about 3 or 4 years, and then he retired.
Right.
Well, in 1980, I'd gotten married, and I was gone a lot. I mean, like 9 months out of the year.
Wow.
So on the road, coming home on a Sunday or Saturday and going leaving again Monday morning. So they asked me to run that business, and I thought, well, this would be a good opportunity to be a little closer to home. I won't be gone for 9 months. I'll just be gone for 3 or 4 days at a time. So I accepted that position. That was in late 81. And ran that division for a year, and I went back to the owners. There was 3 owners of that company at the time, and I said, look, you guys got into this business for the wrong reason. Now there's a huge opportunity here. I want to split this off as a separate business unit. I'm going to own part of it, and I'm going to run it.
Wow.
Well, no, they didn't say wow, they said no. I
No,
said, what?
saying wow to you.
Yeah. Now, I was 29 at the time. So that's how Mission started.
Okay.
We saw an opportunity. They turned it down and basically said, no, we're not going to do that. And I said, well, I am.
Wonderful.
And they thought, yeah, right, kid. I didn't have any money. I mean, it was a...
And what were some of those early challenges when you first set out?
Well, convincing everybody that you're viable, you're serious, you've got a niche that benefits the industry, the growers. I mean, recruiting growers is probably the toughest part of the business.
And did you think you could do a better job? So when you say they were doing it for all the wrong reasons, if you want to elaborate more on that, what do you think are the right reasons of why you started Mission Produce?
Well, let's go back to the wrong reasons. They did it to fill up a facility. Well, it's a lot bigger than that, obviously. I mean, it's a multi-billion-dollar business today. It wasn't then. It was a very small industry. It was strictly California. You know, I think if you fast forward this thing 30 years, we were a local packer selling mostly to California, Texas, Arizona as an industry. We dealt in several varieties of fruit that kept you in supply for the season, greenskins, fuertes, Hass, etc. Well, today, just in Mission's case, we operate in 6 countries in 7 states. And it's one variety, primarily Hass. We also do some lamb Hass, but it's mostly Hass, global. And our biggest customers are, the fastest growing customers are overseas. Asia, Europe.
So you were
Canada.
a big part of, obviously, making this industry. Not only did you start Mission Produce, but you caused the whole industry, the avocado business, to grow.
Well, I don't know if we caused it. We were definitely a participant.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you had to have a good product to create that change, which a Hass avocado is. I think several things changed the industry. One was the opening of Mexico into the U.S. You know, there was a big political fight on that for years and years. Well, what it did, it gave consumers a year-round, good quality Hass avocado. Well, the fear was that they would flood the market, prices would go down, and it would be tough competition for California. It actually did just the opposite. It created such a demand. We're now selling, I think it was $1.6 billion last year at record prices.
Wow, again.
That's pounds. And demand and consumption keep going up because it's now viable, large enough that we can spend over $40 million as an industry just in the U.S. on advertising and promotion. I mean, that's unheard of. And then the introduction of ripe fruit. Now, we were very involved in the introduction of ripe fruit. There was other people that were ripening before we started, but we're the first and only one to do it not only nationally, but internationally.
The first and only?
Yes.
Interesting.
Nationally. I mean, all 48 states.
Which, when you say that, that's what also is driving the industry, because now when you go into a supermarket, it's a lot of buys in the supermarket can be impulse, and if you see a bunch of hard avocados, you might, and you want one right then and there, and that today, you're going to leave it there. But if you have a ripening process and it's perfect when you're in.
We had a very, very scientific procedure on determining that. I was a stalker in the store just watching human behavior. And my kids and wife would say, "You're going to get arrested, you fool, get out of here." And what I was watching was the behavior of shoppers that would go up to the avocado display. And 100% of the time, they would feel it. And I would go ask them, "What are you looking for?" "A ripe avocado."
That's it.
Well, this isn't rocket science, let's go. So that's how it all started.
Right. You said that one of the biggest challenges is getting new growers, because this is not just...
It's competitive out there.
It's very competitive, and you've got a lot of guys out in the field, including your son, Keith. And one of the biggest challenges is getting them to sign on to be a Mission Produce grower, correct? Well, I've talked to two of your growers. One was the late Tom McGrath and Mary Bergen, and both of them told me that they would never change from Mission Produce because you treat your growers very well. What do you think what do they mean by that?
Well, we appreciate their business, for starters. And, you know, I'm a grower too, so I know what the needs are. Obviously, information is critical to know when to pick, what size to pick, and the service level to do it when you want to or need to. You know, as I said, it's a global business now, and we've got, I mean, like I said, we operate in 6 countries. And we sell in several more where we get information every day on what's going on. So we can probably do a better job than our competitors just because we have more information. And the other thing we try to do is help them be better farmers. I mean, we see a lot of farms across the globe: Chile, Peru, Mexico, Spain, South Africa. So we can bring back new techniques that have worked. New Zealand's another one, Australia. Take berming as an example, planting trees on berms. We got that idea out of Chile. And I planted the first avocado ranch there on Sycamore Road in Fillmore on berms, and I was like, what are you doing?
When you say berms, what do you mean?
Well, you mound the dirt up where you get good drainage. The soil is warmer.
And you are also planting a lot on the hillsides for drainage purposes.
Yep.
So when you say your 6 countries, how many countries are you shipping to? You're getting your avocados from 6 different countries, but who are you shipping to?
Well, let's see. China, Japan, Singapore, Korea, for Asia. We shipped to Chile this year, about 80 loads, which is unheard of because most of that product has come here in the past. We have an office in Canada. We have an office in Europe now. So, I mean, there's several countries over there that we ship product to.
Wow.
So I don't know.
So
That's the answer.
So the industry, you said, how big is the industry total of avocado, the avocado industry? How many?
In the world or here in the U.S.?
In the U.S.
Oh, it's about 1.6 billion pounds.
And how many pounds are you supplying every year?
We did about 400 million last year.
400 million. Congratulations.
Not all to the U.S. That was our overall volume.
And what makes a good avocado? You sell mostly Hass and lamb Hass. What makes a good avocado? Is it
the right oil content?
The right oil content and the ripeness, which is causing the oil content, correct?
Right. It's a seasonal thing. I mean, you can talk to you know, growers from different countries. Well, we have the best avocados. Well, what month are you talking about? I mean, in the summertime here in California, you can't get any better in California.
No, you can't.
But this time of year, the best product comes from Mexico. It's just a seasonal thing, or Chile.
Yeah. When I grew up in upstate New York, an avocado was such an exotic fruit. And now it's more commonplace. Do you think it's because just the taste or the nutritional value? Because the nutritional value of avocados, people are learning more and more about it.
Health.
And the health.
The health aspects. I mean, years ago, the ruling was that avocados had cholesterol. Well, they don't have any cholesterol. It's got monounsaturated fat. It's got fiber. It's got more potassium than a banana. It is actually, you know, the banana was called the perfect food. Now it's the avocado. It's on Oprah's top 10 food list. You look at...
and the omega fatty acids.
Yep. And then you look at all the food service chains, Chili's, Pollo Loco, Subway, Chipotle. I mean, they're on TV every night.
Every time you turn around, there's a different recipe with that says, you know, put a garnish of avocados, soup, salad, sandwiches, burgers,
Eggs, omelets.
It's actually, I'm not just saying this because I'm talking to you. It is.
Denny's is another
It's
one.
my favorite fruit. I just cut them in half, take the pit out, sprinkle some salt and lemon juice, and scoop it like it's ice cream out of the skin, and it's delicious.
I'll eat a couple
So
a week.
one of my last questions for you is, you have a special place in your heart for your growers, your California growers.
Well, a lot of them have been my friends for ever. So,
For,
I mean, when
for
you
30
grow up-
years.
Well, 61.
He just said his age, 61. That's a
So-
long time to have, to have friends and business associates,
Yeah.
and
No, we're not done.
no, you're,
It's just barely halftime.
yes. And where do you see, you said you don't know where Mission Produce is going, but you're growing by leaps and bounds.
I don't know where we're going, but we're going to get there in a hurry.
Okay. And then you,
We're going to keep playing offense, I can tell you that.
yeah, you're,
I mean, the
uh,
opportunity, I mean, you take some of these foreign markets, I mean, it's huge opportunity. Huge. We can't grow enough of these things. Nice
That's
problem.
that's a good problem to have. As you know, I started a veteran program over the summer, and the reason was I kept hearing on the news about the problem with veterans finding a place and finding meaningful work. They come back from war, and they've given so much service to their country and dedication, and they come back, and they just can't find a home. And I called upon a few different farmers in the area because I thought having veterans work at farms would be a good idea. And you were one of the first people, if not the first person, that got back to me and said that you would support it and that you thought it was a great idea. And why is it so important and special to you to do this?
Actually, I've been looking for a program like that for a few years. You know, getting people to work in agriculture, it's seasonal, it's hard work, it's, you know, there's better places to hang your hat, so to speak. And we were having trouble finding the right caliber of disciplined, focused individuals, specifically here in the facilities, to manage people, to manage the process, and to bring a sense of professionalism to the party instead of, you know,
So
some of
not
the challenges we get here locally.
Yes. So not only did you take an intern, but then you hired him, and so I think you see
I stole him from you.
You stole him from me, which is fine. That's what I wanted to happen. So it's a win-win for both
We've
of
hired
us.
2 now.
You've hired 2, and I think you're considering hiring 3, and you're looking for more. So I just
Probably.
wanted to thank you for that. That means a lot to me, and more importantly to the veterans. That's really what it's about. It's so I wanted to thank you. What can you tell us about the ag industry in Ventura County, where you see it's going in the next couple of years?
Well, if it doesn't rain, we're all going to have problems.
It's raining today, which is
It's not very much.
not very much, yes.
You know, it's tough to farm here with, it's great soil, great climate, a lot of positives, but it's just a bigger and bigger struggle when we have to deal with the regulations and bureaucracies that, whether it be labor, land use, water runoff management, pesticide regulation. I mean, I can go on, and unfortunately a lot of our time is spent on, I call it negative time, but dealing with these issues that
Yeah,
quite
it's like,
honestly
why
weren't
can't
here 20 years ago.
Right? Why can't the government just let you do what you're good at, and that's grow food for the world? Yet they make
Well-
it so difficult for you. It's so
You ever talk to him?
frustrating. No, I'm going to leave that up to you. You're the
That's a
expert
challenge.
in that.
That's a challenge, anyway. What it's going to do, quite honestly, is it's driving the food production out of the country. Whether it be strawberries or raspberries or avocados or citrus or anything else. And when you can go, take Peru as an example. You can go down there and buy land a lot cheaper. Water comes with it, plenty of labor, great climate, and you have a government that wants us there. Unlike this one. This one doesn't want us here, believe me, they don't. All they tell you is what you can't do, not what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
But it is what it is, and we'll live with it and do what we have to do.
But yet, in the face of all those regulations, you are growing. You're more determined than ever. I can see it in your eyes and in your attitude, and it's great. And so I wish you
It's just another battle.
all the success. You're going to do great. And I love your avocados. And again, all your growers, every time Mission Produce comes up and they tell me that they grow for you, they have such an appreciation for your company. And so I think it all trickles down from the top. I think if the CEO has a certain,
We have core values here that we go by, and the first one is fun.
Good, and I know that too. Are you going to go to the UCLA-USC game tomorrow?
Actually, I'm not, but I'm going to watch it.
Okay, who are you rooting for?
I'm a Bruin all the way.
Okay, I knew that.
I've had season tickets there for 42 years, and this is only the second game I've missed, but I don't like going to the Coliseum at night, so that's why I'm not going.
You don't have any extra tickets you could give me?
I didn't buy tickets that game this year. If it was in the Rose Bowl, I'd go.
All right, well, thank you so much, Steve, for talking to me today. It's been a pleasure. And I get up early every morning. Don't listen.
All my friends live in a small town. My parents live in the same small town.